that was funded by the Vatican and DARPA and so on and so forth, and they developed time travel and had been to Mars and back a couple of times. So, you know, he's in the exopolitics movement now, and he's talking openly about it. And he said that we need to rethink our transportation because we could be easily just get into a machine, you know, and beam over to the other side of the planet. And we don't need to, you know, we have this technology now. We had it 40 years ago.
Right.
He was involved with it in the 60s when they were all just kids, but by now they have stuff that must be so advanced that, you know, we'd all be in shock. And maybe that's part of the meaning of Revelations, you know.
Well, it could be, you know, because like when it says that the white horse, you know, the white horse is a constellation Pegasus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is, yeah.
Oh.
So maybe they're giving us a clue that there's already time travel going on there.
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. See, there's so much that, you know, that we don't realize and we don't even think of because we're not even open to the possibility. And when I started listening to some of those videos, some that you sent me links to about the vortex opening up there, the Stargate, and there's a picture of it. You can actually Google the Strait of Aden, A-D-E-N, and a vortex, Stargate, and there are a couple of different pictures that you can see of that occurring. It's like a whirlwind.
Yes, I saw that.
So it's a very real thing. Now, time will tell what's going to evolve with that, but I mean, those warships could all be over there and some could pop up somewhere else.
Oh, that's right, yeah,
you know?
And the fact that there was a 6.3 earthquake there on January 6th,
yeah.
You know, I think that's when it really opened or did something.
Yes.
Because, you know, I mean, that's strange to have an earthquake right there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it kind of feels like there was something going on under the sea because it was an offshore earthquake.
Mm.
And right there where the Stargate's supposed to be, or is. I shouldn't say it's supposed to be, where it is.
It is, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's really interesting. Well, I had one other thing that when I wrote my last planet alert and sent it out, I got an immediate reply from this friend in China, and he sent me this email, and he said that that is connected to the last eclipse on January 15th was connected by an astronomy to the Virgin of Guadalupe. How do you pronounce that?
Guadalupe?
Yeah, Guadalupe. Yeah.
Okay.
And that this is symbolized according to the information that he got, where he studies the sky through astronomy, and he says that this means that the Virgin of Guadalupe is another sign of the end times of the Maya, because that was one of their signs.
Oh.
You know, when she would appear in the heavens.
Oh, okay.
And so she did. I mean, in the sky, you know, actually in the constellation. And
so that's another validation that these things are all coming to pass.
Yes, right. And then James Gilliland sent out with his email list, you know. And he says, this morning I had a vision of Our Lady of Guadalupe, and she was very concerned with where humanity was going, and she no longer had a representative. And then there was a lot of fire and destruction in the background. And she was very sad. And so he had that on January 27th, you know, and that's still in this time frame, too. And I thought, well, wow, this all fits together, too.
Oh, yes. Now, there's a couple of other things that I had read someplace that there's February 6th and 22nd. Both of those dates are significant for the Mayans. I think the 22nd is the Mayans' solar new year. And then,
oh, really?
Yeah, so there's two major significant Mayan celebrations that are occurring in February that don't occur for another year. And then mid-February, I think you mentioned that Chiron and Jupiter conjunct in this month, sometime around the middle.
Well, also on the Valentine's Day, we start the new Chinese year.
No, wow, we better get our firecrackers out.
That's right. But that's really interesting, too, because, like, last year was so hard for so many people.
Oh, yeah.
And last year was the year of the ox, which is ruled by the planet Saturn, which is the tester.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so it was like final testing, and then we were in 2009, which had the number 9 in it, you know.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so in just another week here, we'll be going into the year of the tiger, which is ruled by Uranus. And that's the planet of change.
Oh, my.
And
of
change
course,
happens like lightning coming down out of the heavens.
Really? Well,
Yes.
and look at the build up between America and China flexing their muscles now.
Uh-huh.
You know, they're going back and forth about, you know, various things, and you know, I read that China was about to come out just right now, sometime this month, with a new energy device that will power a whole house. And you buy the device, and it's basically a free energy device. They're going to call it a battery, but it's a very advanced technological device. So if that happened, that would pull the rug out from underneath.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, you know, that's another thing that they've had a long time, because this is so interesting.
Yeah.
Because the woman who used to own the building that we first started meeting with our Light Center ad,
oh, yeah.
she told me she grew up in Minnesota, and was an older lady, you know, and so she has died, but she was telling me the story of when she grew up in Minnesota, and this was like, because she was born, I think it was in 1919 or something like that.
Oh, my goodness.
And so this has been a long time ago. And on their farm, they had this device that ran all the electricity in their house. And this was way back, that would be in the early 30s.
Wow.
You know, and then the men in black came out and took it away from them.
Really?
Yes, and wouldn't let them have it.
Oh, my goodness. Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so that's probably what's coming out right now.
Wow, that
China.
is very interesting.
Yes.
My goodness. And, of course, we know that Tesla had all that figured out, and that all got back engineered and, you know, used by the powers that be. So
right, I think that they're using his technology right now with all their advanced.
Yeah, exactly. And then, you know, you have the heart facilities, and which burn up the ionosphere and so on and so forth, and create the weather wars. And so we're on the verge, we're on the cusp of some major shifts, it looks like.
Right. Yes, and so it looks like we're in a very, very interesting time. So I would say to people, be prepared, you know. I mean, be prepared, like mentally, you know.
Mentally, yes.
Yeah, because, you know, like if we changed a frequency, you know, like all of a sudden, you know, you wouldn't need the supplies of food and et cetera, but, you know, we don't know exactly how it's going to work out.
Right, exactly. And, well, now what about, we didn't talk at all about Planet X and Nibiru.
Oh, yeah, and that's very important, too.
It is very important. What do you know about it? Because I'm not a big scholar on that whole area.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about it, except that I know that years ago my guidance told me that this planet was on its way, you know, and I thought, well, that's interesting, you know. And then as I watched the last few years, and all of these changes are going on in the solar system, I thought, well, what's causing all these changes? You know, there has to be something that's causing the changes. And then all the different people came up, you know, and they put all the Vatican put up their telescope down the south, and then they've got the telescopes down in Antarctica, you know, and so what are they doing with them down there, you know, what are they looking for?
Right.
And then I did listen to this one man who gave another talk on Coast to Coast, and he was very interesting, and he was saying that the planet will be closest this summer, you know, and then I guess there's different people that have taken pictures of it. I haven't seen a really good pictures of it. I've seen a picture, you know, when there's a double sun, you know, but that could be a sundog. But it looks, you know, I mean, you can't really tell, but I think so, because I looked up the ephemeris for Nemesis, which is what they call it, and Nemesis is actually the companion of our sun. Because, like, our sun has a dark companion.
Oh.
Our moon has a dark companion.
Okay.
And so this is a normal cycle that comes around, every few years.
Yeah.
And so when I looked up the ephemeris of Nemesis, well, when an earthquake happened up here in Queen Charlotte Islands in November, it was a 6.6, and Nemesis was exactly right there when that happened. Huh. And now Nemesis seems to be pointing to the area of Yellowstone and that particular area.
Somebody sent me a link to the Yellowstone thing that they thought that was going to go off soon. And of course, if that happened, all the ash, the volcanic ash, would create a major problem for us breathing-wise and solar-wise. We wouldn't be able to grow anything, so that would be a unpleasant situation to go through if we had to go through that.
Right, yeah. There's another thing with that, too. That could happen, but also Yellowstone is connected with Alaska.
Oh.
And Saturn is now affecting Alaska and Hawaii.
Oh.
And so there could be something going on with Alaska right now, which is causing Yellowstone to respond to it.
Oh.
So it could be either way.
Oh, well, it's probably Sarah Palin and her tea party.
Maybe so.
She had too much tea.
Right, yeah. Oh, one thing, I guess the time's getting close to close here, but the degree that Saturn is on right now, which is 4 degrees Libra, that's on the degree of the beginning of a new civilization.
Really?
Yes, and by latitude, it's right over the Sea of Aden.
You're kidding.
No.
Wow. Well, that is chilling. You saved that right for the last moment, didn't you?
Yeah.
You little rascal. That's good. So the sun is 4 degrees Libra?
Yeah.
And that's right over
Saturn is.
Or Saturn is? Oh, my goodness. Well, that is really something. Well, that puts the frosting on the cake, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of does.
My goodness. Well, we're going to have to
see what this
date on this, and people are going to have to subscribe to your Planet Alert. Because you talk about all of this each month, and you might have to do one every 2 weeks pretty soon if it heats up enough, right?
Impossible, but I don't seem to have the time for that.
No, you're a busy person.
Yeah.
Well, before we go, would you let people know where your website is so they can find you and
sure. Sure. It's www.alcseattle.com. And my email is planetalert@hotmail.com.
Wonderful. Well, any other stalkers before we say goodnight to the audience and the listeners?
I think that they probably have enough to digest.
I think so. I have notes all over my paper here that I want to go back and investigate because there's a lot of interesting stuff that we covered tonight, and I really want to thank you for sharing yourself with us again, and always, you bring so much to the show, and I really love having you on. Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. And we'll have you back again, and we might all be in the fifth dimension, so if we are, we'll be playing and having a good time. That would be great, yeah. Really. Thanks a lot, Mahala. Yeah. Okay, you're welcome. All right, and talk to you later. To you. Bye. Good night, everybody.